Everybody, it's your boy Frozai here with the long-awaited movement guide. First thing I want to get into is telling you that this movement guide is not going to be a beginner's movement guide. It's going to be an advanced movement guide, so you're going to have to know some techniques already in order to keep up with what I'm about to show you. First thing I want to get out of the way though is super gliding. I'm not going to be including that in this tutorial as it's unique to everyone with how they use it and how they actuate it. So without further ado, let's get it. First up on the list is tap strafing. I will do my best to explain what it is and different ways that you can do it. What is it? Tap strafing is a mechanic which allows you to commit to mid-air maneuvers in order to give yourself an upper hand on your opponent. Right now what I'm showing you is the average tap strafe and how it looks. Once you learn this mechanic, you'll be able to implement it with other movement techniques that I'm going to show you in the game. Since you're watching this guide, I'm going to assume you've learned how to redirect your momentum with a lurch. Lurches are pressing a direction input shortly after coming out of your slide jump. Binding your forward input to scroll wheel will allow you to overwhelm the game with forward lurches, which in turn will allow you to make a 90 or even 180 degree turn with your mouse. Just be cautious to not spin your wheel too fast, as this can overload the game and cancel or even make your strafe sloppy. Now that we've gotten past what tap strafing is and the proper keybinds for it, go ahead and practice it. All you have to do is get in a slide jump and spin that scroll wheel as you look in the direction that you're aiming in when you come out of that slide hop. Remember not to do it too fast and to let go of your forward input so you can actually hit it to its full potential. Yes, I know, that was probably one of the worst ways I could have showcased and taught how to tap strafe. But now that the worst is over, I can finally show you guys the good stuff. Next up on the list, we have my favorite, B-hop and wall hop healing. While everybody knows what B-hop healing is and the nerfs that it's gone through, I think wall hop still has huge potential as shown by some other movement enthusiasts out there, only for it to be slept on in my opinion. Wall hop healing will help you get the most momentum out of your surroundings to get you where you want to be by the time you get those heals off. I'll show you what I mean in these several clips that I'm about to show you. First things first, I want to get this out of the way. One thing that surprises me the most still is when I get random octanes who don't know that his stim can actually override the B-hop nerf and let them B-hop heal like they did in the old days. Over here, I'm going to put it side by side so you can actually see what I'm talking about. And to all you Octane mains out there, you could thank me later. Next up in this segment, we have wall hopping. I'm looking forward to teaching you guys this because I feel it's heavily underrated. Let's get into it. Wall hopping is not necessarily the same as B-hop healing because you don't get the max amount of speed that we used to before the nerf, but it's still better than the nerf we have right now to get where you want to be. As you can see in this side-by-side comparison, it's still more efficient in utilizing your momentum to get that heal and positioning that you want to get off. In order to execute this technique, you're going to need three essential things: momentum, a smooth wall, and a sense of direction. Line yourself up with the wall, start your B-hop heal, hold down your left directional. At the same time, you want to look away from the wall at about 7 to 10 degrees. The only thing left to do now is just practice the technique and adjust accordingly for when you go around those corners. Consistency is key. This next one's going to be quick and simple. Mag hop healing utilizes the magnetism of the zip entrances and exits along with tap strafing and B-hopping. This technique is good for when you want to throw off your enemies or just pull out a Hail Mary when the building is full of enemies. So to accomplish the mag hop, you want to essentially just lodge yourself into whichever corner on either side of the window that you can get yourself to. Either you tap strafe or you zip line into it. Once you hit yourself into that corner, you want to hold forward, and whichever direction the wall is on, you want to go into that direction, whether it's on your left or right side. All the while, you want to hold your crouch and spam your scroll wheel or perfectly time your jump so that you can hit the B-hop from the magnetism. Also, I forgot to mention, this technique won't work in construction building. Any other TTV building will work fine, just not construction. Next up on the list, we have zip jumping, or super zip jumping. This tech is fairly simple. Seeing here, all you have to do is just press E, spin your scroll wheel if you have jump bound to it, or just spam your spacebar repetitively. The best way you can execute it is by jumping as soon as you hit your E or your interact. This way, it'll become cleaner and more fluid. So to summarize it, press E and jump as soon as you can. That's basically the only way to really put it. You can also combine it with tap strafing to get up zip lines faster or to reposition yourself like this. Next up, we have mantle jumping. I tried to draw something, but I couldn't draw a mantle jump. It was just too much detail for Microsoft Paint.
Need to recharge my shields. Patching myself up.
Alright, so mantle jumping. It's kind of weird to teach someone how to mantle jump because it requires precision and timing. Step 1, hang from a ledge as shown in the picture. Step 2, tap your forward input key. Now you want to pay attention to when you're climbing halfway up that ledge because this is where everything will start to take place. Now this next step is important because after you found that middle way in the climb up, you want to tap S to cancel the climb up and the animation. So then this way you'll be able to look down and hit the zip line. You want to hit the zip line like a zip bounce. Once you're able to chain all those things together, you should be able to get it down. Let me show you in real time. I'm on the zip, jump to the ledge, climb up halfway till this point, tap S, look down and hit E, then scroll wheel shortly after. And that is how you do a mantle jump. Maybe confusing and hard at first, but it just takes time and practice.
What we do here is go back.
Slide mantle. This movement comes from the mantle jump. I've shown these clips before, but I'll run it back again. Slide mantle plays off the mantle jump's physics and timing. It involves the same steps and a different approach. Step 1, slide into your zip line. Step 2, slide and look down the same way you would with a normal mantle jump. Now I'm not really sure how to explain this last part, but you want to hit the interact and scroll wheel the same way you did with the mantle jump while looking down. You do it right with the timing. At this close enough position, you should be able to get it down. Wall bouncing and wall running. Since this is an advanced movement guide, I'm going to go ahead and assume that all of you already know what a wall bounce is and that you've already practiced using it. This part is going to be to show you how you can utilize and some tips and tricks on wall bouncing and wall running. Wall bouncing is a very unique thing in Apex as it singles it out from the rest of the gaming community in terms of its movement. Wall bouncing is something that allows you to do many things like turn the tides of a battle, aggro a lot harder, and just really get the most out of your momentum. Wall bouncing can be mixed with other movement techniques, which is why it's one of my favorite things to use. You can mix it in with B-hop healing, wall hop healing, and tap strafing. Moving on to wall running. Wall running is fairly simple and straightforward, so we're going to get through this part really quickly. So you can see here I have my little marker here to point where I'm going to be. So in order to do the wall run, you want to run, insinuate a regular wall bounce, and when you hit that wall, you want to look away from the direction you're going in and press the opposite key from that direction. Here I'm going to show you in first person and third person side by side, just so you can have a better idea of what you're trying to achieve here. Another tip I wanted to throw out there is that using a side input, like the one we use for the wall run, is good for letting you wall bounce off of short objects or boxes that you may normally mantle on. Okay, last one, I promise. I'm going to show you here how Faye does the instant slide to push around corners and get the one up on his enemies. Okay, so you're shooting your enemy, you're peeking around a corner, you get some damage done, right? You want to go in for the final kill. You hold crouch and shift at the same time, right? Shift is the key button you want to hold down or whatever you use to sprint. This will let you kind of spring your step when you come out of that crouch and get an early little boost to actuate a slide hop straight around the corner and push with a shotgun or whatever you want to do to secure that kill. Anyways, that concludes the movement guide. Again, this isn't a normal movement guide. This is just a movement guide to kind of point out some of the movement tech that's a bit forgotten and underrated in the community, just in my opinion. So do comment, sub, like, subscribe. Let me know if you learned anything from this. And I'm sure some of you may have already known this, but just watch the video. Just learn something. I don't know. Just touch some grass.